Another year has flown by, and a new year is beginning. The obvious question at the beginning of a new year is, how am I using time? At school, we learned to measure whatever was valuable. We measured cloth by the foot and the yard. We measure coal by the ton. We buy candy by the pound. But one of the most valuable things that God has given us is time. Time is so valuable, we measure it by centuries, years, months, days, hours, minutes, and seconds. The fact we measure time by seconds ought to give us some idea of the great value we should place on time. In olden days, there were no clocks. Time was measured by the sun and the moon. There was simply day and night. And this was all right when men lived to ripe old ages, like Adam, who lived 930 years before he died, and Methuselah, who lived 969 years, and then he died. But when men ceased to live so long, they began to take time a bit more seriously. They began to devise ways and means of measuring it. And the first timepieces were sundials. During the Middle Ages, when people lived by faith, a cross frequently surmounted the sundial in order to show the relationship between time and eternity. Time is the coin that God gives us with which to purchase eternity. To underscore this truth, verses were often inscribed on the faces of sundials. One inscription read, "I speak, but not to the blind." Another, "I carefully measure time. Do you?" Sometimes the sundial taught a lesson of good cheer. "I mark none but sunny hours." Other sundials sometimes had poems inscribed on their faces, like this one. "When thou dost look upon my face to learn the time of day, think how my shadow keeps its pace as thy life flees away. Take, mortal, this advice from me, and so resolve to spend thy life on earth that heaven shall be thy home when time shall end." But you cannot carry a sundial around in your pocket. And on rainy days, the sundial didn't work very well. So men sought other ways to mark time. They began to use candles. When one candle burned out, another would be lighted, but sometimes one wouldn't be around to light another candle. So the hourglass was invented. As all of you know, the hourglass is shaped like the figure 8. Sand would trickle from top to the bottom of the glass. Then it would be turned over. Again, it was hard to be there when it had to be turned over, or to remember always to turn it over. So the hourglass was not too satisfactory a timepiece. And so another timepiece was invented, the alarm clock. Strange as it may seem, they say it was the monks who invented the alarm clock. They needed something, to wake them up in the middle of the night so that they could go to the chapel to sing the night office. The clock, regardless of who invented it, is interesting. It was given 2 hands, a long one and a short one. The short one marks the hours, but the long one marks the minutes. You would think it'd be the other way around, wouldn't you? For hours are longer than minutes. So you would think the longhand would designate the hours. And yet the very opposite was done. The longhand was used to mark the minutes, to teach us that minutes are more valuable than hours. There is a saying that goes like this: if you take care of the pennies, the dollars will take care of themselves. And if you take care of the minutes, the hours will take care of themselves. When such a sermon is structured into a clock, it would seem the monks did have a hand in clockmaking. I've often thought what the souls in hell would give for just one more minute of time on earth. Yet so many of us act as if we are going to live forever. We worry about the dead yesterdays. We fret about unborn tomorrows. We get all stirred up over a lot of trivialities, and we forget to live. We forget that this day will never come again, and that if we are going to make life worth living, we had better start now. One of the poems I love is the Psalm of Life, written by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Most of you know it, but there's one stanza that goes like this: trust no future, howe'er pleasant. Let the dead past bury its dead. Act in the living present. Heart within and God o'erhead. Act in the living present. 1,000 years before Longfellow, a Persian poet put it this way: look to this day, for it is the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of your existence, the bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of achievement. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day. Such is the salutation of the dawn. We are now at the beginning of a new year, but we know not whether we shall see the end of this year. Do you realize that 4 people die every second somewhere throughout this world? And death respects neither age, nor rank, nor wealth, nor power. But we do know that whether we shall see the end or not, this new year will have no meaning, will not be happy, unless it is lived according to the plan of God. Let me outline that plan, emphasizing things which are commonplace and yet so commonly forgotten. And here it is. Today, in one thing, I know that I am equal with all other people. For like them, I too have time. I have this new year. And all of us draw the same salary in time. We draw it in seconds, in minutes, and hours. So, today is here. I will start with a smile and resolve to be agreeable. I will not criticize. Today, I refuse to waste my valuable time. I will not waste my time because the minutes I wasted yesterday are as lost as a footprint on a windswept desert. Today, I refuse to spend time worrying about what might happen It usually doesn't. I'm going to spend time making things happen. Today, I am determined to study to improve myself, for tomorrow I may be wanted, and I must not be found lacking. Today, I am determined to do the things that I should do. I firmly determine to stop doing things I should not do. Today, I will begin by doing. And if I do, in 1 week, I will be miles beyond the person I am today. Today, I will not imagine that I would do this or that if things were different. I will make success with what material I have, since things are not different. Today, I will stop saying, "If I had time," for I know I never will find time for anything. If I want time, I must make it. Today, I will act toward other people as though this might be my last day on earth. I will not wait for tomorrow may never come. Today, we ask ourselves, what does life come from? Where does it go? Only our glorious Christian faith can give the answer, can give meaning to what has gone before and to what will come. And so today, I will practice my faith. I will love it, and I will live it today. For I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. You can have 2 suits, 2 pairs of shoes, 2 overcoats, 2 of almost anything, but one thing. You cannot have 2 seconds at once. The moment that you spend now is yours, of course, to do with it as you will. Waste it, and your loss is irreparable. You can regain friendships, you can regain money, you can regain goods that are lost, but lost time you can never regain. Time and tide wait for no man. It is the coin with which we can buy success and virtue and accomplishment. Spend it well, yea, spend it doubly well, for you can buy eternity with it. A happy, and fruitful New Year to you all. And during this year, may God always be with you, and may you always be with God.